If you've ever felt nervous talking to a mortgage lender because you're not sure what to ask or you're worried that you'll ask the wrong thing, this video is for you. Because here's the truth. Most people don't struggle with buying a home because they're not qualified. They struggle because they don't know the right questions to ask a mortgage lender early enough. When you don't ask the right questions, you don't get clarity. You get surprises. So stay with me in this video because I'm going to walk you through the most important questions to ask a mortgage lender. The ones that actually protect you, set expectations, and help you avoid stress. And if you stay until the very end, I'm also going to share a bonus section on what you absolutely should and should not do during the buying process, because one wrong move can delay or even derail your closing. By the end of this video, you'll feel more confident, more prepared, and more in control of the process instead of feeling like things are just happening to you. Let's dive in. One of the biggest mistakes buyers make is assuming that once they talk to a lender, the lender will automatically tell them everything they need to know. Sometimes that does happen. Sometimes it doesn't. Not because anyone's trying to be sneaky, but just because lenders are busy. Buyers are overwhelmed, and if you don't ask clear questions, you might not get clear answers. That's why knowing the right questions to ask a mortgage lender is so important. The first thing you want to understand is what loan options you actually qualify for. Not what you've heard about online, not what worked for your cousin, or what someone on social media said was the best loan. You want to ask what loan programs you qualify for and which ones would make most sense for your situation. That question alone can shift the entire conversation from general or generic to personal. Once you understand your options, the next thing people usually fixate on is the interest rate. And yes, that does matter. But what matters just as much is understanding whether that rate is fixed or adjustable. Knowing this helps you understand not just what your payment might be today, but how stable it will be long term. Next, let's talk about payments. And while we're talking about payments, this is one of the most important questions to ask a mortgage lender. What will my estimated monthly payment be, including taxes and insurance? Not just the loan amount, the full picture. This helps you avoid shopping in a price range that looks good on paper but feels very uncomfortable in real life. This is especially important if you've been looking online and getting your numbers from websites. They oftentimes don't factor in the cost of taxes and insurance, and that will considerably increase your monthly payment. Another major area of confusion is the down payment. Many buyers delay buying for years because they think they need more money than they actually do. Asking how much you need down and whether there are low down payment options can completely change your timeline. Along with that, you should ask whether you qualify for any first-time buyer programs or down payment assistance. These programs aren't universal and they change, but you won't know unless you ask. Now let's talk about closing costs. You want to ask what the total estimated closing costs will be and whether you can get a breakdown, not because the number will be exact on closing day, but understanding the categories helps you plan. This is also the time to ask about lender fees, so there's no surprises later. Another helpful question is whether any closing costs can be negotiated, credited, or rolled into the loan. The answer depends on the loan type and market conditions, but asking helps you understand what options may exist for you. Now let's talk pre-approval. One of the smartest questions to ask a mortgage lender is what documents will you need to provide? Knowing this up front helps you prepare instead of scrambling. Once you find out what documents you're going to need, I suggest you keep those documents in a separate file somewhere that's close by so that you can access them when the lender begins to ask you to resend those documents, because they will. Not only that, but if you feel your phone is secure enough, you might want to take screenshots of them as well so that you can upload them to the mortgage portal when necessary. You also want to ask how long your pre-approval will last. Many buyers don't realize that it does expire, and knowing that timeline helps you plan your home search more realistically. Another powerful question is asking what could delay or jeopardize your loan approval. This helps you avoid common mistakes and understand why communication matters throughout the process. Quick pause here, because if you're watching this and you plan on moving to the area, I've created a relocation guide to help make transitioning here smoother and help you settle in faster. It covers things people usually wish they knew sooner, and you can download it using the link in the description. One of the most overlooked but critical questions to ask a mortgage lender is how much of your money you can spend without jeopardizing your loan or closing. This protects you from accidentally sabotaging your own deal with a purchase that seemed harmless at the time. This is usually where stress starts to creep in. The process has timelines, documents, and conditions, and when buyers don't know what's expected, anxiety can start to build. That's why it's so important to ask the right questions early. Now, remember when I said to stay tuned till the end? This is that bonus section, the do's and don'ts that can make or break your closing. Here's what you should do during the home buying process. Number one, keep your employment stable. In other words, don't go part-time or go change your job. Number two, pay your bills on time. Communicate with your lender. Always ask before making financial changes. Keep your documents organized. When in doubt, just ask first. Now here's what you should not do. Don't open new credit cards. Don't finance furniture, appliances, or vehicles. Don't make large unexplained cash deposits. Don't change jobs or income structure without talking to your lender. Don't assume small purchases don't matter. When you know the right questions to ask the mortgage lender, the process becomes less intimidating. You're no longer guessing, you're participating, and that shift alone brings peace. Now, if you want to know more about how much it's going to cost you to buy a house, click here to watch this video where we uncover a lot of hidden expenses that many first-time home buyers don't know to expect or prepare for.